Now, before I get into our wonderful conversation with our guest, Peter Chabris, remember, anything that me and Peter talk about, it's for educational entertainment purposes only. Whatever you do with it, please check with your local broker. Make sure you're safe. We are just talking about things that we believe are entertaining. All right, so I am beyond honored to have Peter joining us. So Peter is a top producer. He has been, one of the reigning, thought leaders in real estate in our industry for years. He's Cincinnati's number one team since 2013, and overall, just one of the passionate people. He's also my real estate coach's best friend and one of his best friends, which says a lot about him. So Jordan Freed speaks highly of him, and I do have a coach, just like everyone should have a coach. But Peter, welcome. I'm honored that you're sharing this time with our organization, and if you could introduce yourself and kind of give people some insight on who you are and take it from there.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me. I appreciate it. So Peter Chabris, Brendan's stats were a little dated. Last year we actually closed 394 units for about $105 million in volume.
We apologize. We messed that up.
No sweat, man. Don't worry about it. Let's see. I don't know exactly who the audience is here, but I've been out of production since 2017. Level 7 by the MREA standards since about 2 years ago.
So Peter, what does that mean? I know what it means, but when you say level 7 in the model, what does that mean?
Level 7 meaning that we have a sales team. I'm no longer in production. I also no longer run the company day to day. We effectively have a CEO who runs the company on a day-to-day basis. His name is James, and he's phenomenal. Better job than I do. The Keller Williams University Master Faculty, certified leverage speaker. I launched a market center. Are we KW here? KW family?
Yeah. There's some few that are not, but yeah, we are a lot of KW people. But we've got some EXP, some Remax on here.
Okay. So launched a Keller Williams franchise back in 2017. I'm no longer the franchisee, but own the majority of it. And that's me in a nutshell. I've got a daughter who's going to be a rising junior in college. She has her first big girl internship. She's at PwC in Boston this summer. She has a boyfriend that I'm not crazy about. And my son is a rising senior in high school. So that's my life in a nutshell. And we're adopting a puppy in a month. That's about what I've got to share.
I love it. Well, that is an excellent intro. And so Peter, as the CEO of a massive highly successful team in Cincinnati, number one team in Cincinnati, we were talking today about our lead generation strategies, and what we try to share here with the Pulse Nation is just really making sure that they understand the systemization of what we do, right? And that it's not this shotgun approach. I'm sure your team, you do different things than our team and other teams that are out there. Like, it's not like there's this perfect, you do it exactly this way. So I wanted to talk about, obviously I would assume, and from knowing you and knowing of you, your team focuses on listings. Is that accurate?
Yes and no. I mean, I'll be totally transparent with your permission on this Zoom. Forever and a day we were. And Brendan, I think that we realized back in 2019, 2020, we realized our obsession with listing focused business was actually leaving some money on the table, servicing buyers. And we kind of got hooked on that high sugar, low protein diet of a buyer driven business, especially as 2020 rolled around, right? And people were lining up to make offers. I think we realized soon thereafter that we had gotten off track, and we started moving towards more of a listings driven business about 12 months ago, but we've definitely been clawing back. And that's what I get for taking my eye off the ball for about 3 years. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And that's the hard part, right? It's what we focus on. So Peter, your team's number one prospecting based lead generation strategy for taking listings. What would you say that is? Like, what do you guys do? Is it relationships, expireds, golden letters? Is there something that you've kind of found works the best for you and your organization, or is it a series of things?
A series of things, but the top two, three, we have three that really drive the majority of our listings taken. The first one is Sphere. It always has been. It always will be. And if you consistently lead generate to your Sphere in a way that's tasteful, you should always generate listing leads from it. I mean, that's the way humanity works. That's how we're wired as organisms. Second one for us is a builder relationship that we have where the builder will refer us if an unrepresented buyer needs to sell their home in order to purchase the builder's property. And the third one is going to be really kind of cold calling into a large pool of leads that we've generated over the course of about 15 years. We use a tool called Fellow. You're probably familiar with it. And Fellow just has people raise their hands if they're interested in the value of their home, or if they're interested in a CMA or potentially a cash offer. And it was just calling, texting, emailing the people that raise their hands with curiosity about their property's value. So those are the three pillars that generate the vast majority of our listing leads.
And we're going to take questions from the audience as well, but the one thing I
Sure.
heard in there is builder relationships. So I'm in this business for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is. How did you establish that builder relationship? Was this by chance? Did you seek out to create that relationship? How do you do that if we're not a 40-year veteran? Not saying you're a 40-year veteran, but we haven't been in the business for a
Got the
long, long
haircut for it.
time.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll just be transparent. I lucked into it. There was a lender that had been pursuing me for a long period of time, and he connected me with this builder, and that was a pretty amazing relationship that he put out there for me. And that was 15 years ago, and we worked that relationship hard and frequently. That being said, I think that when you have a track record of success, builders aren't, well, let me back up a second. There's two ways you can help builders. You can help builders do things like hold their open houses. In fact, a lot of the best, if you're newer to the business, here would be my advice. I just have to think out loud for a second. If you're new to the business and you want to generate more listings and builders are an option, many production builders will allow real estate agents to hold their inventory open on the weekends. And so if you're holding open homes that are trade up properties, you're going to find buyers who are unrepresented because they're earlier on in the process, who have real estate to sell. And that would be the best way to generate listing leads from builders if you're newer to the business and don't have a track record of success to lean on, and to position yourself to take some of their listing leads.
I love it. I love it. And then obviously your number one category is Sphere. So when you train your agents, or when, now that you're seventh level and you have someone else, really working on it, the question that we get a lot, Peter, is I'm going to call and say what to my Sphere? What do I say to them? How do I check in and not sound salesy when I'm trying to call to see if they're interested in listing? Like, do you have them on a touch program? Like what? And when we talk database, like, give us a gauge for how many people are in the database at this time.
Great question. I love all those questions, and they're great clarifying questions. Let's talk about touches. Our sales team, on behalf of our agents, we will help our agents touch their Sphere. Let's back up. What is Sphere? Sphere to us is to find someone who knows your name, knows you're in real estate, and would use you or refer you if given the opportunity. There's a bunch of different definitions. That's our definition. For most real estate agents, that's somewhere between 150 to 350 people. So we send one postcard per month to everybody's Sphere with a picture of them on it. So that's 12 touches. I write a script for agents to record in a studio that we have here in our office. And they film 2 videos per month reading the script. And we send those videos out to their Sphere from their email address. So that's 2 more. So that's a total of 3 per month, or 36 touches. And then it's up to the agent to, we occasionally, not consistently, which is the gap for us, we'll do some like dial in things where like you're giving away a Yeti cooler full of stuff, right? But where the rubber really meets the road, and you know this, Brendan, is when the agent calls their sphere once per quarter. And so how do you do that without sounding cheesy or getting to the place where your sphere starts to screen your calls? Because it's already hard enough to get someone to pick up the phone, right?
Right.
I think there's a couple steps in kind of like we call it when we train it, we call it the anatomy of a sphere call. And there's kind of like a series of steps that you take. The first one is you just kind of say hello and get into some quick rapport. The next step is bringing up something from your previous conversation to demonstrate that you care and that you were listening the last time you spoke. And that's really where the magic of the relationship happens. That's where you're able to enrich the relationship and not just maintain it, by showing that you're thinking about the person, because the vast majority of us never listen to anyone because we're busy thinking about ourselves. And I think when you do that right, that's the piece that earns you the right to ask for help later on, because you're actually invested in the relationship and demonstrate you care about this person. And that's the magic. And this is coming from a transactional guy, right? This is something that I resisted for years before we finally adopted it. And I have had profound conversations with my sphere about life and death and cancer and marriage and babies. And like the conversations become really powerful when they realize over time that you actually do care. And the way you show somebody you care is by demonstrating that you're listening. And the way you do that is by bringing up something that you talked about last time. So that's the really important piece that most agents skip. After that, you just kind of run through forward, right? Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And in that forward conversation, you're looking to tease out something that you can call them and follow up on and ask about 3 months from now. And then you just ask, hey, Brendan, I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm going to ask, because I always do, who in your world is thinking about making a move at work or maybe at the kid's school that I could call and introduce myself to at your recommendation. And that's basically it.
Love it.
But the critical piece of that is making sure you've got something to talk to them about next time and leading with that. It kind of completes the circle and lets them know that you care. And then if you fall out of a relationship, like that's what social media is great for, is you can call them and congratulate them or sympathize with them on some piece of news that they've shared in their lives.
So basically, be a human.
Yeah, be human. I think a lot of us have forgotten to do that, especially since COVID. Like being human never goes out of style.
I love it. I love it. And then Ozzy asked in our chat box here, and I think I know the answer. He was saying, so now you're at 7th level. When you were at level 0, 1, or 2, did any of those lead sources change? Was it any different? I mean, obviously Fellow probably wasn't back then, but I mean, was Sphere different? Or you said you were more transactional, and as I was when I started.
Yep. Yeah, I think you and I are very similar. I did not do any Sphere. I moved to Cincinnati from the East Coast. So culturally, I was not in alignment with Midwestern values and energy and speed and drive and hustle and all that stuff. So I was immediately already not like everybody else. I didn't know anybody except for my mother, and I didn't want her help. And so, but it was the Great Recession. So I hammered on expireds, and I was phenomenal at telephone jujitsu. Like that was the thing that I focused on. And the 3 disciplines that I mastered during that dark time in our industry was scripts and dialogues, listing presentation, and discipline, right? Consistency to the right actions over time. And thank God those were the 3 things that I chose to focus on, because I think if I had focused on anything else, I would have died on the vine, not having a Sphere there. So that's what I did.
Why do you think so few will do that? Because all the top agents that I interview say almost the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some of them may have, had a huge farm or they knew a billion people, but I usually hear the same thing. I dedicated myself to scripts and role play and mastered the art, and I love that, of verbal jujitsu or script jujitsu. Yeah, right. And they really looked at that. And then the second was, like you just said, the discipline, not the second, but the third, like the discipline to do it. is it that people just don't care about money as much as they used to back then? Like, why do you think people are looking for I don't know, say an easier button, I guess.
I mean, I think our country, I think the world, but especially our country is kind of going through a comfort crisis. There's a great book about that if you've ever read it, Brendan. Um, and so I
What's
think,
the book? We love books. Tell us the book.
oh, comfort crisis.
Oh, Comfort Crisis. That is the book.
Comfort crisis. Yeah, between all of the wealth in this country and all of the technology, we've really kind of engineered into the fabric of our culture a high degree of complacency. I mean, it really a wealthy, capitalist, technocratic society like ours engineers complacency and ease of consumer activity. And we're all pretty freaking
Yeah.
comfortable, right? Let's
Yeah.
call it for what it is. So I was
That helps.
lucky. What's that?
No, I said that explains quite a bit right there.
Yeah, and I guess, Brendan, I was lucky in that I didn't have choices, right? Like I'd married this amazing woman and our life was not what she expected it to be. And I always thought that I deserved better than what I had. And quickly I was realizing that I wasn't special and that I was going to screw up this awesome life I'd started with this woman. And I was pissed. And so a combination of anger and fear, and I'll be also transparent, like our friends were doctors and attorneys and business owners or sons of those people. And like it was embarrassing saying I was a realtor and a mediocre realtor at that. And I just got sick of not being proud of who I was or what I stood for, or like, man, I wanted more out of my life and I wanted to be proud of who I was. I wanted my wife to be proud of me and I wanted to kick some ass. And so like that to me, and then the Great Recession hits. Like I didn't have another choice. Nobody was hiring me. Like I got into real estate for better or for worse. Now it was time to show up and be a realtor. And if I was going to crush it, I was going to have to dig deep and be the best version of myself. And I'm off track now on your original question, but I
No,
believe
no, that was a lot of the question was just again the regiment and like you said, for a lot of us we didn't just the same way we didn't start with spheres, and I know a lot of people when they think about their sphere, some of people are blessed with it, they won't even call it. Some of us don't have one, and then so you're left with these other resources, and I think why we're seeing such a huge fallout in the real estate industry is people have gotten very soft skinned as well. Like the nose hurt. It seems like the nose hurt people more now than they ever did before, and I'm not sure why. Where I does it suck having someone tell you no or f off or whatever? Sure. I don't care though because you're just another number impeding me on making the money I need to change my life, right? And it was just trying to unlock the mindset of that. And I think people really hate now getting hung up on or not that it was ever pleasurable, but
or
I think
ghosted
people
on
are
text or having the door slammed on you. But you know what? Like this is probably not very popular, but like get over it. You picked sales because you want to get paid a lot of money. Salespeople get paid money because you do the stuff that nobody else wants to do. Yeah, it sucks hearing no more than yes, but like if you don't want to do it, quit the business. Go do something else where you can hear yes all the time, right? Go be
sure.
in customer service. That's a yes job.
That's it.
But if you want to
That's
make
it. I
money, you
love it.
want to be in control of your income, and you want to crush things and be better than who you are right now, you're going to have to come across some adversity and some resistance and some disappointment and some punches in the gut. And like, surprise, that's life. That's the way it's always been. If you want to be bigger and have a bigger life, you're going to have to suck it up and toughen up, buttercup, and like let's go crush some stuff, let's take some action, let's get hit on the nose a couple times and keep going, because the majority of people get hit on the nose once and they're out. And that's the great thing, is that your competition is so weak and so soft right now. All you do is just have to stand up when you get knocked down, and after a while you just start to stand a lot longer and you get numb to the knocking down, and before you know it, you're knocking down six figures, and then you start pushing that and it becomes really fun. But you got to do the part that sucks first, because no one else will do it. So the great news is not many other people are doing it. So you hit
Preach.
one of my
Preach.
one of my hot
Preach,
buttons.
brother. I love it. I love it. just because we want to maximize our time with you, of course, as well.
Yeah,
So,
sorry.
so
Yep.
we talked about prospecting, and thank you. Let's talk about networking. What did you do early on, or what does your team do now? I know we know Jordan. We do a lot of 10, 25, 90 stuff. I'm not sure if that's what you guys are doing, but like what does the networking piece of your lead gen planets look like?
Yeah, so that's probably our weakest piece, right? Because we're a larger sales team, we encourage our agents to be a little bit more entrepreneurial and to use the resources of our company that complement the way they want to build their business. So we do have some agents individually that are super into like BNI and networking events, and that's great. And there are others that just want to grind on our internet leads, and there are others that are all about their sphere. So it really kind of just depends. Some people are big open house people, but by and large, networking. I was looking at you guys sent me a copy of this, so I was rating myself as you were going through, and weak stuff when it comes to networking.
And I'm glad you're saying that. He's being so honest, right? Like, and he's the number one team in Cincinnati, right? They were just asking, like, what if I'm not good in one of them? Is that the end of the world? It's like, no, but sometimes when you do these audits, it brings awareness and going, all right, maybe there's something we could do there. Maybe
Yeah,
there's something
that's
we
right.
could work on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what? Like,
David's asking is what percentage score did you give yourself in networking?
I gave myself a 10%, which was probably generous.
Whew. See that? See, guys? So
We
this
can
is
still
that's
build a big business, right? It just means it's not going
yeah,
to be built on networking. Because I
that's
suck at
it.
that. So I'm attracting people that probably are not the best networkers, and that's okay because we crush on other fronts.
I love that. Well said. That's what we wanted to get across today. That's awesome. All right, so let's not talk about the one you suck because you know what you got to do there.
Okay.
Let's talk about internet presence.
Yeah, we're
So
good there.
what did you do? And I like to part that into what did you do early on, or did you do anything? And obviously we know Fellow and CRMs and all that now. So what did you do back then, or what are you doing now? I guess easier way to do it.
For internet lead presence, we do as a sales team, the machine does two things. We do the single largest buy side lead source, excuse me, after Sphere is internet leads, right? So we just
Okay.
do old fashioned pay per click, squeeze page website stuff. And
And just because again we're all at different levels here, when you
yeah.
say pay per click and squeeze page, talk me through it.
You have a website like Boomtown or Sync or Brivity or what do we use? Sierra. There's a bunch of them, right?
Yeah,
And
Ylopo. Yeah, we have Ylopo. Yeah.
Lilopo. Yeah, Lilopo is a great one. It's nice. It kind of scrubs the lead a little bit more. Um, and you have a budget that you set, and you buy traffic from Google for specific search terms. You purchase somebody to click through to your website. A certain percentage of those people will want to look at real estate, and you configure the website so that after a certain number of detailed views of specific homes they're interested in, they've got to register to keep using the website. And that's called a squeeze page. And they put in some degree of contact information to continue their experience and opt into being contacted as part of completing that form. And then we do what salespeople do, right? Call, text, email, blow them up, see how we can help them out in their journey.
I love that. And what's that regiment? So new lead comes in. Is there a standard like, we know like the Ben Kinney 10 days of pain, call everybody, text them 10 days in a row. Do you have like what does that look like once lead is received? Is there so I'm a buyer, I'm in my pajamas and at, midnight I decide that I want to, register to look at houses for $600,000 in Cincinnati. Your agents or sales team comes in the morning. They call me, I don't answer the phone. What do they do next if I don't answer?
Text followed by email. And we'll do that pretty aggressively for 5 to 10 days. After that, we'll put the lead in a pond, and then any agent can go into the pond, and if somebody is active in the pond, they can pull that person out and try and reconnect with them. Because either you get them in you get them in the first 5 minutes, or you don't. But you get them in the first few days, and if not, they sometimes go dormant. And if you leave them alone, they'll start interacting with the website. And that's when you can reach out to them and make another connection. Did that answer your
I
question? Is
love
that
it.
what you?
It is. Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah. Yeah. I think people just, that's why we love having people like yourself on here is trying to see behind the scenes of just like, it's not simple. I mean, it's simple. It's not always that easy, but in a lot of ways it is. It's just they reached out on your website. Keep reaching out to them until they tell you not to,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Until they say, please leave me alone, because they obviously had a request for something. I think some of our agents, even in the Pulse Nation, get in their head and go, okay, well, the lead came in. I tried them once. They didn't call me back, so they must not be interested. It's like, do you know how busy we are on a daily basis? Like, I'm not going to answer the phone for anyone more than likely, right? But and if especially personality styles, I'm probably only going to respond to people that I think are extremely persistent because that's the kind of person I want to work with, right? So, yeah, I think there's just a lot of limited belief sometimes on. I watch agents, we track all this stuff in our system. It's like they'll make the first call. Second, it drops to like 50% of the time. To make that third call, you're talking 5% of the population will make that third call.
There is a great, you can find it online, Brendan. There's a great study that was done by Harvard Business School or Harvard Business Review that did a study of converting internet leads. And the study's a little bit dated, but there's one piece that remains true, and that is that, and I don't want to get the numbers wrong. I believe 90%, I want to make sure I get this right. It's 80 or 90% of salespeople give up before the fourth follow-up. And over 50% of the consumers finally engage after the fourth follow-up. Because so many of us psych ourselves out. And there's a graph there you could pull. It's online. You can just do a screen grab or whatever. That's really instructional for people who are getting started with internet leads and are having that inner dialogue about, well, 2 times is probably enough. I should probably leave them alone. You probably shouldn't. You should probably keep going because they're waiting for the people that are persistent, to your point. Um, because you're ultimately
I
going
love
to
it.
yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Sure.
No, no, that was solid. That was solid. And because of our time, and then we'll take some of these questions after, is so direct mail. So it sounds like you guys crush internet presence, crush prospecting, networking, not so much your jam. How about direct mail? I know you said you send out a monthly mailer. Are you doing golden letters? Are you doing anything else? And are you getting business from direct mail, or is it more to support the sphere business so you stay in front of them?
Yeah, so we've been sending a monthly postcard featuring 9 of the listings that we close every month with some statistics on how we outperform the market to our sphere for 16 years. Is that right? 16 years? Make sure I get that right.
Wow.
Yeah, 16 years, like just relentless. Every single month, our sphere is going to know that we crush selling homes. Um, because, I I believe, what is a business? A business is the consistent application of a system that yields proven results. And we know that if you consistently market to your sphere, that generates leads. And when you do it in conjunction with phone calls, it's really fun. So we've been doing that for 16 years. We've dabbled in golden letter. It worked for about 8 months and then it completely hit the wall. I don't know why that was. It was about 4 years ago, pre-COVID, actually. So I have a couple of coaching clients that are experimenting with some other, um, what does Jordan call it? Mr. Mister. It's like the multi send, but it's individualized, where you say like, it's basically another version of Golden Letter. So I'm waiting to see how those work, but I actually like door knocking more than direct mail. I know it's not as efficient, but I feel like the conversion rates are better and you've got the opportunity to build a little bit more rapport, and door knocking leads usually sell within a year.
Right. And
I
you
know I
don't need a
just took
big
you off.
budget.
What's that?
Yeah. Well, and you don't need a huge budget to pull it off. You
Right.
don't need
That's
to
right.
have all the money to spend on doing it. Because, yeah, one of the questions was, how many do you guys send a month?
Well, we've got a sphere of about, with all the agents, I don't know, it's maybe like 3,500. So whatever that is, about 3,500 mailers per month. Not that much.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, Peter, I wish we had more time. We don't. This was
Yeah.
fantastic. Pulse Nation, show Peter some love in the chat box. And Peter, if we want to find you after the fact and not, bug you, but should we connect with you on Facebook, Instagram? I know you have a great newsletter that helps a lot of agents. Where can we connect people to get more info and so I can share that with everyone?
Yeah. Can I share my screen real quick with the QR code for
Please.
that?
Absolutely.
Right. Second. Can you guys see that right here?
Yes.
Is it? So that QR code, I send out an email once a week on Thursday mornings. It's like a 3 to 5 minute video, actually 2 to 4 minute video, designed to help real estate agents grow their business, right? It could be a script, it could be a mindset thing, maybe it's a financial best practice. I like to call them Realtor McNuggets. Like they're super easily to digest. Enjoy them at your convenience. You can subscribe. If it's annoying, you can unsubscribe at any point in time. And if you have a question specifically about your business or something, you can always just ask me a question responding to the email.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we'll get this QR code. I know I don't know why, Desiree, you're not seeing it. We saw it. We'll put the link to where the QR code goes, and we'll send it out after this to the whole nation as well, and we'll put it on our Facebook group. But Peter,
great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure. Have a wonderful
Thanks for
day.
having me.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you.